Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Fish. This is the series where I usually answer your questions that you guys leave on Discord, so make sure to join if you haven't already, if you've got a question for a future episode, link below. But today, we're going to do things a little differently. PRS are absolutely killing it. They've just dropped their new 2024 models, checks calendar 2 months in advance, and okay, certified bangers confirmed. So in this special episode, we're going to break down what's new, why this is special, and a couple other things PRS are doing that has wider implications that affects us as guitarists. So smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. That actually massively helps out with the fickle beast that is the wild and wacky YouTube algorithm, and let's get into it. So first up is the PRS SE Custom 24 quilt. Holy shit. Now, I'm gonna guess that these are gonna be a little divisive because they perfectly embody everything that people either love or hate about PRS guitars. Like, these are super PRS looking PRSs. I'd argue the most PRS looking SEs ever. It comes in traditional-ish black gold burst, then in turquoise and in violet, which, especially with matching headstocks, look absolutely incredible. Violet in particular, with bits of darker blue, exquisite. And besides just looking great, in my opinion, my favorite thing about these super figured tops, each one is going to be different. Each one is going to be unique. You pick these up and it's going to be your guitar. And especially with how good import factories have gotten at making figured veneer tops look like full figured caps, they're vibrant. They've got so much depth. We've come so far from the 2D veneer tops from the early, mid-2000s imports. Each one has its own identity. So something like Sweetwater's Guitar Gallery, where you can select the exact unit you actually want, is more important than ever. And wouldn't you know it, it's a great time to mention that Sweetwater is actually sponsoring today's video. Besides the Guitar Gallery, where you can see the weights and what each guitar actually looks like, they also have their 55-point inspection, which is essentially another layer of QC. Super nice. And specific to what we're talking about today, they're one of the dealers that's doing a 20% discount on nearly all PRS SE models until the end of the year. We're talking everything from the 2408 to the McCartys to the Holcombs, even these brand new ones. And that's something else we'll talk about at the end of the video because that's a super important point with implications that extend to the wider industry as a whole. But yeah, 20% off and links to all the gear we'll be covering in this video will be in the description. You can also bookmark my affiliate link for later to support the channel. So massive thanks to Sweetwater, and let's talk more about this PRS SE Custom 24 quilt. Because besides just looking super PRS core-like, the big spec change that I missed when I posted a quick short on the lineup is that for the first time in the main SE production lineup, the Custom 24 is coming with an ebony fingerboard. Before, an ebony board was a feature for only limited editions and dealer exclusives. Right now, it's $7.99, and I mean, when you compare it to the current Epiphone prices, that's really not bad. Ebony board, quilted matching headstock, it is more than the regular Custom 24, which at $670, I mean, what is going on? Did PRS just forget that we had insane guitar price inflation for the last couple of years? Other than that, no big spec changes. Same 8515S humbuckers, 6-screw vintage tremolo, set pattern thin maple neck, classic PRS specs. Next up is the PRS SE Swamp Ash Special. The number of comments I've seen on this name, they call me the Swamp Ash Special in this heat, never gets old. But so anyways, the Swamp Ash Special is a model that was part of the PRS US core lineup for a while, from the mid-90s to about 2009 in various pickup configurations. So it's been discontinued for about a decade and a half, and PRS is bringing it back as part of the accessible import SE line. Comes in charcoal, in vintage sunburst, and in a phenomenal iris blue. Obviously, the shallow violin carved body is made entirely of swamp ash, and again, highly figured grain. Each one is entirely unique. HSH pickup configuration, which is fairly uncommon on PRS SEs, bolt-on maple necks with maple fingerboards and abalone bird inlays, especially where the birds kind of match the iris blue. Love that. And I had a feeling these would be super popular. Long discontinued PRS model, first time available in affordable SE form, 20% discount. Yesterday I saw a few of them in stock on Sweetwater. Some of them even looked better than in the stock photos. And today, as of filming, they're all back ordered. So yeah, I guess get on the wait list if you want one. Speaking of which, it seems that 8,954,750% of viewers are on the wait list to subscribe and haven't done yet. So make sure to go ahead and do that and hit the bell for notifications. That way you can stay up to date with all things guitar. Really helps out the channel as well. so thank you. Interesting pickup configuration where the push-pull engages the middle single coil and splits the neck humbucker. I think I would have preferred a 5-way, but this method gets you an extra 6th tone configuration, and I'm a bridge pickup tone fully open person anyways, so I'm just gonna shut the fuck up on that now. We move. And lastly, we have the PRS CE24, getting dangerously close to stepping on Ibanez's toes here. At first, this might just look like the same SE Custom 24 we've been talking about for years, but flip it around, look at that. It's not a set neck, it's a bolt-on. Comes in vintage sunburst, blood orange, and in turquoise. Mahogany bodies, wide thin maple necks, rosewood fingerboards. And like the recently released SE McCarty 594s, this is another one that's been part of the USA core lineup since the 80s. In this case, the CE24 was first introduced in 1988. And finally, it's available for the first time in affordable SE form this year. This one is the least flashy of the new models, and so I haven't seen it get as much love as the other two. It is the most affordable though, so at $549 right now, it'll probably sell the most. I'm actually really excited for this one. Last couple of years, I've really grown to love the PRS shape and vibe, and lately I've been really enjoying the snappiness of a good bolt-on. And by the way, when I say that, I don't really mean the tone, especially with what I play. It's the feel. It's hard to describe, but they have a snappier, more responsive feel to them than you get with a set neck or with a neck through. That's literally the best way to describe it. There's a reason there are so many metal players moving to bolt-ons recently. It's not because the listeners can actually tell the difference in deathcore tone. It's the feel for the guitarist. So we had the SE Silver Sky, now the SE CE24. It's clear PRS is really going hard with the bolt-ons. End of next year, my guess is we'll probably see an SE version of the NF53 and Miles Kennedy's signature, fingers crossed, and maybe even an SE version of Dusty Waring CE, a PRS SE DW CE24 FR. Now we really are getting dangerously close to Ibanez territory. But yeah, I feel like the CE24 is the unsung hero in the lineup, and I, for one, am super excited for it and what it'll hopefully lead to in the future. And while everyone is understandably focused on the shiny new models, PRS has sneakily dropped new colors for the SE Customs 24 and 2408. That's the Custom 24 with 2 mini toggles to individually split each pickup. Teal with a flame maple veneer is now an option for both models. I'm loving the emphasis on teal recently with these, with the SE Paul's guitar, the new CE24. The Custom 2408 now comes in blood orange flame as well, and a Sweetwater exclusive blood orange quilt Custom 24, which they've given the full Custom 24 quilt treatment. That means matching headstock and the ebony board. Sticking to the theme of Sweetwater exclusives, there's now a Custom 2408 in faded blue quilt with the natural back. This was my favorite color from the SE McCarty 594s. Again, matching headstock and ebony board. I've said it many times, and I'm gonna say it again. There is something special about blue PRS guitars. Funnily enough as well, the SE Custom 24 in quilt black gold sunburst is an older Sweetwater exclusive, so if you like that color but prefer rosewood over ebony, that's still an option. That's all the new PRS stuff. Here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the new SE models, the Custom 24 quilt, the CE24, the Swamp Ash Special? You thinking of copping any with the 20% discount? Let me know what you're thinking down below. And now is actually a good time to talk about that 20% discount because the implications are really interesting. I don't think I need to tell you guys, guitar prices, especially on imports, have been getting way out of control. And working with the Harley Benton product team, cost of production is something that we talk about quite regularly. It's getting better, but essentially every bit of the supply chain has experienced super inflated prices. Everything from the raw materials to transport has seen borderline extortionate price increases, right? So think about what that means along the chain of production. For the guitar factory, it's more expensive to buy wood and to get it in. Global inflation means you have to pay the workers more to turn that wood into a guitar. You got the same thing happening at pickup factories and hardware factories. In fact, there's still a global shortage of hardware, so that increases the price again at multiple points. And then once the guitar is done, it needs to make it to distributors across the world. Now, transport has gotten better, but at its peak, it was 10 to 15 times more expensive than normal pricing, which already is very not cheap. And so we see the final effects where an LTD BK600 has an MSRP of double what it was when I reviewed it 5 years ago, which has definitely outpaced inflation. but it's because you have exploitative price increases at so many points in the production process. Now, while things are calming down a bit, there's still a lot of uncertainty and it's still very delicate. So I'd imagine you can't permanently commit to lower pricing just to raise again if something unexpected happens. At the same time, I mean, the market is just too crazy. It's where even the budget brands are becoming bucket list items. For example, I love Epiphone, but $1,400 for a Joe Bonamassa SG? That's insane. He's lucky his audience has a proportionally high number of blues lawyers, but in general, there's an inventory problem. People are just buying fewer guitars because even the budget brands are a little pricey right now. PRS SE has always been one of the more competitively priced import brands because they generally don't use too much brand name hardware or electronics. They tend to use their own proprietary tuners and their own design pickups. And with this 20% off going back to almost pre-pandemic pricing, even on the newest, just revealed models, love to see it. And the fact they're doing it through their dealer network rather than doing it direct, so it supports rather than competes with dealers too, this seems like the fairest solution. And my hope is that PRS doing this will encourage other brands to temporarily discount their pricing too. Pricing is a sensitive issue for sure, especially since most of what we see is just the final number on the product page. So hopefully that additional context about what's going on in the supply chain is helpful. Again, let me know what you guys are thinking down below. And the channel has been absolutely blown up with shorts recently, which means we have a whole new crowd of adoring fans. Let's hear from one now. It's the high praise of the week. Everything you talk about is an instant no. Why don't you quit so we don't have to put up with your bullshit? That's high praise. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this special episode of Ask Fish. Life outside YouTube has been pretty nuts the last couple of weeks. Got loads of demos. I'm like 50% through right now. And a mod project video I'm like 80% done with. Now that I've filmed this, I'm gonna sit down and finish those up, so be on the lookout for those. Huge shout out to my amazing patrons for directly helping make each and every video possible. Their names are up on the screen right now. Consider joining them if you like what I do, or maybe pick up some comfy merch or bookmark my affiliate link. All that really helps support the channel and helps me bring you more and better content. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.